It's important for you to understand as a young person that the best decision you will ever make in life is to give your life to Christ. I'm not speaking out of head knowledge. I'm not telling you this to impress you. I don't make videos to impress people. I'm speaking out of experience. The best thing that ever happened to me was my salvation. I gave my life to Christ quite early as a teenager. And I said this to the glory of God. It gave me focus. It gave me discipline. It gave me foundation. And I'm building on a foundation that I laid, by the grace of God as a teenager at the age of 15 and 16 years that I gave my life to Christ. So it's easy for me to know what I want. It's easy for me to know the kind of places to go and where not to go, the kind of friends to keep and the kind of friends I don't want. I mean, it's easy for me to know who belongs in my life and who does not belong in my life. It's important for you to know, the Bible says, remember now your Creator in the days of your youth, because time will come when you wouldn't have time for God. By the time you get married and you have 1, 2, 3 kids, trust me, you won't have all the time in the world. So you better start early. The best advice I would give to a young person is to start early. What starting early will do for you is that, let me tell you something. When you start early to pursue Jesus, when you start early to go after God, what happens is that you create a path for yourself. You gain speed in life. You will gain speed because you have no luggages. You don't have luggages. And because of that, because there is no baggages, you gain speed. You are able to go fast. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not everywhere you are going. It's not everyone you are hanging out with. It's not every book you are reading. It's not every movie you are watching. Your life, the Bible said, if your eyes be single, your body will be full of light. So that speaks of focus and vision. When you give your life to Christ early, you have vision, you have focus. Before I went to the university, I already know the course to read. Before I came out of the university, I already know the country I was traveling to live the rest of my life. So why am I saying this? Start early. Young people, listen. And if you're a parent and you are listening to this video, share it with your children. Let them start early in life to pursue Jesus, because it will give them focus. They are able to avoid certain mistakes. There are mistakes that I didn't make, and I'm happy I didn't make them. And I'm not condemning anybody who made that mistake. Please don't get me wrong. I am not condemning you, but there are mistakes you will not make in life if you start early to pursue Jesus. There are mistakes you will make. Growing up in church, I belong to almost all the groups in church, almost all the groups. At the age of 16, I was a Sunday school teacher. I was leading a prayer group. I was singing in the choir. I was leading the evangelism group. Outreach group I was leading. I was also a house fellowship teacher. About 6 departments in church. I was fully involved in about 6 departments in church. I was the leader of drama group. Almost 6 or 7 departments I was leading. At the age of, as a teenager, I was leading those groups. Now, listen, let me tell you something. Because of the investment of time, of energy, and of youthfulness, because I invested so much of my youth in the things of God while I was growing up, it's easy for me right now to discipline myself because it's now a part of me. I've done this for the past 20-something years. It's easy for me. It's easy for me to look at something that my body wants and I say no, and I won't feel it. It's easy for me to turn my back on my desire. Why? Because it's a part of me already. I've done it for 20 years. So what these things do for you, when you start early to pursue Jesus, you gain focus, you gain speed, you are preserved. You are preserved. I was telling somebody, I told the person, sin makes people old. You see, sin makes people old. I've taken my time to watch people who live in sin. They get old easily because the devil comes to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But Jesus comes to give us life more abundantly. So anybody I know that is living in sin, that person gets old easily because something is living the person's life. Something is living. So it's very important that you preserve your life. And how do you do that? Start early in life to pursue Jesus. Young people, listen. I'm telling you what I have done and what I have practiced and what I have seen happen in my own life. There are prayers I don't pray. It's not every prayer I pray. Honestly speaking, God was speaking to me one time and he said something to me. He said, before you ask me anything, I will do it. Honestly. He said, before you open your mouth, I will do it. God answers my desires. I may not be where I want to be yet, but I'm not where I used to be. Why? Because I started early to pursue Jesus. I pursued God to the dimension that God vowed to me. He said, I vow I will bless you. And I say this humbly, I'm not saying it arrogantly. Young people, start early. Please, I beg you in the name of Christ. I have siblings and I keep telling them this. Start early to pursue Jesus. Whew. There is something my bishop normally says, Bishop David Oyedepo. Anytime he's teaching the young people, he normally quotes that. It's a Yoruba adage. And that adage said, 20 children cannot play for 20 years. In 20 years, they will be in different levels of life. 20 children cannot play for 20 years. In 20 years' time, they will be in different classes of life. It's important for you to start early. You will gain speed that your peers, they don't have that kind of speed. You will gain so much speed in life. And when I'm talking about speed, it's not just financially. Sometimes you think, for me, money is not a big deal. The reason I say money is not a big deal is because when you have a vision and you have a purpose, money will come. So I don't see money as a problem. There are times that I probably won't have money, but I don't have a need. Why? Because God is my need. When I get God, I get everything. So it's not about money, it's not about cars, it's not about houses. All those things are nothing. As long as I'm concerned, they are nothing. So get God first. The Bible said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. When you command the blessing of God, when you have the favor of God, before you need it, God will provide it. I'm telling you, okay, let me share this testimony with you. Let me share a testimony with you. There was a day I went on assignment somewhere in another state. And when I got there, I was carrying a bag, and the money I had on me for the assignment finished. Even the transport money. All the money finished, like nothing else left. And I was worried. I was standing and I was like, Lord Jesus, what will I do? You can't believe this. And I said this to the glory of God. And God spoke to me. And God said, open the bag you are carrying. And I opened it and I saw thousands of money in it. I saw more than enough. Money appeared in the bag. If I'm lying to you, God is my witness. Money appeared in the bag. And I used it to solve the problem. And I had more than enough. Why am I saying this? Money is not a problem. Get God. You see money, stop pursuing money. Get God. When you find God, you will find everything. I keep saying this. When you find God, you will find gold. You will find everything. Everything. Be a friend of God first. Make God a priority. Start early to pursue God. You see, God speaking about David, God said, David is a man after my own heart. And you begin to wonder, David, a man after God's own heart? It's because of the intensity, the intense love that David said, I better be a doorkeeper in the house of God. I better be a doorkeeper in the house of God. So he made a better choice. He said, when will I appear before you, O Lord? When will I appear? He was desiring for Jesus. In our generation, people are desiring for money. Young people are desiring for cars, for fame, for wife, for husband. All those things are rewards for serving God. They are nothing, absolutely nothing. They are nothing. Pursue Jesus. When you find God, all those things will look for you. You won't look for them. I've been in my place one time. Somebody called me. I've shared this testimony before. A man called me and he said, God said I should pay your house rent. I didn't ask him. He called and said, God said I should pay your house rent. He paid it. He paid it. When I won the lottery to come to this country, one man, a businessman, called me in his house. That was when I knew the hand of God was strong on my life. He called me and said, come to my house, and I went. He took me to one room and opened the drawer full of money. And he said, how much do you need to travel? How much do you need? Man, when you find God, you find everything. Young people, pursue Jesus. All these things you are looking for is nothing, absolutely nothing. I have saved money. Sometimes I keep telling my friends, I have closed my account so many times and I give out the money. So many times, if not 3 or 4 times. There are seeds that I will sow. God will place a demand on me and he say, go to your account, close the account, take all the money, send to a preacher. And I will do it. I love God more than I love money. Money is not your problem. Go and find God. Go and find God. They shouldn't be pursuing you to go to church. They shouldn't be putting pressure on you to go to church as a young person. Now, you are listening to somebody who has pursued Jesus since I was 15 years old. For more than 20 years, I've done this. And I'm the one telling you that the best thing that can happen to you is to give your life to Christ. Your life is preserved. Your life is preserved. You understand what I'm saying? Your destiny is preserved. There are things I don't pray for. There are things I don't worry about because my life is moving on a straight line. Now, let me finalize with this. Some years ago, when I was a teenager, I belonged to about 6 groups in church, about 6 or 7 groups, departments. I was leading a prayer group. I was leading the outreach, evangelism. I was teaching Sunday school. I was teaching house fellowship. What else? I was leading the drama group. Almost all the groups in church except women's group. Except women's group. I belonged to all the groups. And one day, one woman in church called me and she said something to me. I will never forget it. She said, the intensity that you are using to pursue God, time will come, you wouldn't have to pray for God to bless you. She said, you wouldn't have to pray that much. Things will be happening. Honestly speaking, it pays to serve God. It pays to serve God. I remember in those days when they sent me to school. Oh my God. When they sent me to school, after school, I will leave school and I will enter a village to go and pray and fast. Enter a village to go to a village. My parents wouldn't know where I went to. They will be looking for me. I'm somewhere preaching the gospel at the village with megaphone. For those of you who know what megaphone is, 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m., I'm on the streets in the darkness preaching the gospel. Young people, nobody should force you to go to church. Going to church should be your desire. Serving God should be your desire. There are prayers I don't pray. God in heaven knows. There are things I don't ask God. There are material things I don't pray about it. If I need it, it will come. If I don't need it, it can hold on. They are not my need. God is my need. When you find God, you find everything. I want to challenge you. Don't just go to church so that people will see you. Be devoted. Be committed. See, be genuinely a Christian. Be a friend of God, not just a child of God. I just want to encourage you with that word. Let me say this adage again. My Bishop David Oyedepo normally says it. 20 children cannot play for 20 years. In 20 years, they will be in different classes of life. Start early to pursue Jesus. It pays to serve God. I can tell you. It pays to serve God. Lay a foundation that your children will build upon. I'm doing what I'm doing today because my father did it. So it's easy for me. I saw somebody do it and I want to do it. God bless you. My name is Emmanuel.